Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having an awesome week so far, and I hope you're all staying healthy and strong. Welcome all, welcome students. This is a live IELTS class for reading. We are going to be focusing on getting that perfect Band 9 score, reading about the tortoise. And if you're wondering what that is, you can see the animal right there beside me. This reading is an academic passage, but certainly this kind of reading could be your section 3 of the general IELTS reading as well. So whether you're an academic or general IELTS student, this reading will help you for sure. This is a members chat class. That means members can join the chat. Of course, everybody is welcome to watch. In about 90 minutes, we will have an all chat class that will focus on the speaking section, specifically speaking part 2. But to join the chat right now, you have to become a member of the channel by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button. Hi Kyber, welcome Arda. Hi Laura, I am doing all right today. Thank you for asking, Kyber. Students, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there. For general IELTS, check out gieltshelp.com on both of our websites. We've got loads and loads of materials to help you improve your English and communication. Click this big red button on the website to join our premium package. It's a one-time payment. You get access for lifetime. Use it until you pass IELTS or even after to keep learning English. As you can see, we're a British Council IELTS Test Registration Center, certified agents. We've got lots and lots of successful students that we have helped. You can check that out. We've got tons and tons, and we're very proud of that. So definitely check us out at aehelp.com. For general IELTS, visit us at gieltshelp.com. You've got the big red button there. Again, it's a one-time payment for lifetime access. Welcome, Carolina, our chat moderator. Hi, Rashika. Good to see more people joining in now. So again, that's aehelp.com, gieltshelp.com. You can get our apps, Academic IELTS Help, General IELTS Help from your app stores. You can follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AEHelp and GIELTS Help. So join us, check us out, and begin learning for success. If you have questions, send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. Right now, reading for members, followed by speaking. Then tomorrow we will have task 1 academic, followed by speaking part 3. And then task 1 general, followed by speaking part 3. Those task 1s are the writing section, by the way. All right, why do tortoises live so long? So here we go. We have our reading passage for the day, and we're going to read this in just a moment. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit of strategy by looking at our exam book. So here we go. We've got a nice picture here of the tortoise. Okay, and when you're doing the reading, hopefully for some passages you will have a picture like this one here that's just right up above my head. You've got these two beautiful looking creatures staring at us. So you have a question here, and when the IELTS passage starts with a question like this one, it should be fairly obvious that the passage will seek to answer this question. Okay, so thank you, Carolina, for the tortoise emoji. I was hoping somebody would find that pretty quick. So why do tortoises live so long? Well, Give me some information that comes to mind when you think about a tortoise and when you think about it living for a long time. So this is where you should do a little bit of prediction, a little bit of forecasting before you start reading. So instead of just reading right away, think about, okay, well, maybe I know the answer to this, and the author will write the same information. So I should think about that. So what do you think? Why does a tortoise live so long? And again, when you're doing the IELTS reading, this should be really quick. So this passage, thinking about this answer, you should spend about 1 minute on it, maybe. So Sanjay says maybe it's because they're lazy and slow. I don't know if that means they're lazy, Sanjay, if we're comparing them to humans, but they're definitely slow. So yeah, let's see if we can give some answers here. So okay. So answer. Turtles are slow, or tortoises. I shouldn't say turtles. Turtles are the ones that live in the ocean. These are tortoises. Oh, sneeze coming on. Slow moving. Excuse me. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too loud for you. My apologies. Yeah, so tortoises are slow moving. And Amu says it's because they're slow moving, they have a low metabolic rate. Very nice vocabulary. Thank you, Carolina. Thank you, Arda. Very nice vocabulary. What does metabolism mean? Metabolism, for those of you who aren't familiar with this word, and very good, Amu, for knowing this word, or metabolic rate. Metabolism is the system of processing food in the body. Okay, so that's what metabolism means. So a slow metabolic rate means that processing of food is slow. Okay, turning food into energy is a slow process. All right. Yeah, so metabolism, metabolic rate, it's good to know. Calvin, welcome back to our group of members. All right. Laura says they have a hard shell that protects them from predators. Yeah. Predators are animals that attack, or organisms that attack other organisms. So that's what's called a predator, for those of you who aren't sure. Okay. So again, a little bit of vocabulary, and when you're reading, you should be writing down new vocabulary when you're studying at home. Okay. It's very, very important. Yeah, artist says it's the conversion of energy as the metabolism. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, because we do convert energy even from the sun, for example. So metabolism is conversion of energy within the organic body. Yeah, that's an even better kind of definition, if you will, Arda, because plants have metabolism and so on. But again, we could call that food as well. Okay, very nice. So now that we've thought about why tortoises live so long, we can look at the questions. So let's look at these questions. And again, in the IELTS exam, this is happening pretty quickly. So here we have some questions. Read passage 1. It has 6 paragraphs. So reading passage 1 has 6 paragraphs. A to F. Which paragraph contains the following information? Let me make this a tiny bit bigger, perhaps you can see it better. Okay, and then pay attention to this. Note, by the way, that's the NB there. You can use any letter more than once. So it means that, some of these might have the same answer, meaning they come from the same paragraph, okay? So here we have the first one, factors that lower tortoises' life expectancy. And at home, you want to paraphrase this, students. So think about how you can say this in your own words, okay? So elements that decrease the longevity of these animals. Meaning, factors that decrease their ability to survive, right? Okay, so that's my paraphrasing here. And again, at home, you want to try and paraphrase these sentences, because that's what the IELTS is doing. The IELTS is paraphrasing between the questions and the answers. So keep that in mind. So paraphrasing is an extremely important skill to practice at home, because that's exactly how the test works. Okay, so paraphrasing is a must practice for home before the IELTS, as this is the way the test is designed. To assess your English. Okay, so if you can paraphrase really well, you're going to get a really great score on the IELTS exam. Kyber says aspects that make the long run of tortoise go down. I wouldn't say go down, but it's not bad, Kyber. So I would say aspects that influence the long life of the tortoise to decrease. Okay. Romaine, welcome to our group of members. That's awesome that you decided to join. And I can see that you're saying it might be genetically based. Absolutely, their longevity, I'm sure, is genetically based. Okay. Tortoises being used as a food source, so number 2. Okay. This one I would say just simply the tortoise being eaten for food or sustenance, okay, or survival. All right. Separation from predators contributes to their long lifespan. Isolation from animals that eat them helps them live longer. And just like Kyber, if some of you are paraphrasing here, that's great. Keep going. I will catch it. So I can see that Cass just wrote, tortoises are a source of food. Yeah, and that's nice grammatical paraphrasing, Cass. So not so many synonyms in your paraphrasing, but good grammatical paraphrasing. That works. Okay. All right. Some animals have different methods of ensuring the species lives on. So let's see. Certain creatures, there's always another way to say these. Certain creatures use a variety of ways to make sure that their kind continues to exist, right? So some animals have different methods of ensuring the species lives on. Certain creatures use a variety of ways to make sure that their kind continues to exist. Tortoises have difficulty adapting to new environmental pressures. All right. Tortoises are poor at evolving to challenges, to meet challenges in their surroundings. Okay, that would be a way to paraphrase that one. And again, the more you do this, the faster you will become. You can think of grammar, synonyms, antonyms, negatives to paraphrase, okay? Arda says getting away from attackers helps them live longer. I love it. Yeah, Arda, absolutely. Predators, predation It's about attacking and surviving. So I think that's a good paraphrase. Hi, Pravasha. Cass says, moving away from animals who eat them aids them to survive longer. Very nice, Cass. Good descriptive paraphrasing. Calvin says, different mechanisms that ensure the sustainability of the animals. Yep, I think that's brilliant paraphrasing, Calvin. That works. Cass says, certain species use various ways to survive. Simple and beautiful. Very nice. Arda says, tortoises find it challenging to get used to hard environmental features. Yep, that works, Arda. Mal for number 5 says, the struggle tortoises endure due to the instability of their environment. It's a little bit off, Mal, but not bad, right? Not tourists, tortoises. All right, good. Nice paraphrasing and nice and quick. Okay, that's what you want to do. You want to be fast. All right. Sanjay says tortoises do not like different climate changes. Yeah, I think that works, Sanjay. Yeah, I mean, our environment is our climate in a sense. It's not just the temperature, but our climate. And tortoises don't really like it if that's changing. Okay. Cass says tortoises are not so good at adapting to their new environment. Very nice. Okay, and in the real IELTS exam, you're doing this in your head. So you're paraphrasing a lot in your head. Okay. Numbers or questions 6 to 9. Choose no more than 2 words from the passage and answer each from the passage for each answer. Okay, and write your answers in boxes 6 to 9 on your answer sheet. Okay. So number 6, the cause of the tortoise's long life are biological and something. Let's just read these, okay, and get more information. So we're definitely seeing that there will be answers about the long life of the tortoise. While salmon lay thousands of eggs at once, tortoises rely on their something to continue the species. Unlike the tortoise, animals such as the something have very high metabolisms, so good for thinking of the word metabolism. The tortoise's something protects them from attacks, thus lengthening their life. Okay, good. And then we've got some true, false, not given. These questions, let's not worry about them. We don't know which ones are true, which are false, which are not given, so they could just be confusing, okay? All right, now members, what we are going to do next is going to be interesting here. We're going to listen to this reading and we're going to read together. Okay, so don't just listen, but also read with the passage here. We're going to jump back to the reading passage in our presentation. And then I will ask for volunteers to read this passage. So we're going to read it twice. First, we will read this with a British reader together, okay? And then I will ask for volunteers. Hopefully I will get some to read this passage, and then we will answer the questions together, okay? So a little bit of a different kind of reading practice today, but I think quite fun and effective. So here we go, and I will give you feedback when you're reading. Okay, here we go. All right, so again, everybody, let's read this together. Don't just listen, but read, okay?
Why do tortoises...
Whoop, just give me a sec. All right, I think my head's in the way here with my chair, so I'm going to try to move out of the way here as much as possible. Whoop, you might see me go a little bit off camera here. Okay. Yeah, actually, that's not going to work like that. Okay, that's okay. We will do this. We'll just do it a little bit differently. I will set this up. Just bear with me from our website. So let me go back to the syllabus. Okay. And we'll jump to the website here for the audio instead, because in the PowerPoint you can't see me. My big head is in the way. So just give me 2 seconds. All right, here we go. Okay, everybody, let's get ready to read. And again, make sure to read, and if you can, read aloud. Okay? All right.
Earthquake preparedness. Of all natural disasters, earthquakes are likely to be the...
Why do tortoises live so long? Tortoises are some of the longest-lived creatures in nature. They can live so long that scientists have yet to fully document the lifespan of these hard-shelled reptiles. Reports, however, indicate that certain species of tortoise can live up to 200 years, far longer than the average human lifespan. The reasons tortoises live so long are evolutionary and biological, though the population of these ancient creatures is declining due to low reproduction rates and increased predation. Nature is incredibly diverse, but the common factor among creatures is the need to reproduce. Some creatures, such as humans, have small numbers of young which are cared for diligently. Others, such as salmon, have no interaction with their offspring whatsoever. Instead, salmon rely on the sheer number of eggs they lay. They lay so many eggs that some are bound to survive to adulthood. While some animals rely on care or vast numbers of eggs, the tortoise relies on the longevity of their life. Female tortoises can produce offspring for well over a century. This is one reason tortoises live so long, so they can reproduce many times, and thus continue the species. Reproduction, however, is not a cause of tortoises' longevity. The most fundamental cause of their longevity is their incredibly slow metabolism. A creature's metabolism is the rate at which they process food and energy. Some animals, such as the hummingbird, have very fast metabolisms in order to power their high-energy existences. Conversely, tortoises have very slow metabolisms because they have very few energy expenditures. In general, creatures with slow metabolisms live longer than those with faster metabolisms. Due to its low metabolism, the tortoise can live for up to a year without food or water. When explorers were travelling to the Galapagos Islands in the 18th and 19th centuries, it was common for sailors to take tortoises on board the ship as they left the islands. Since tortoises survived so long without food or water, they were able to provide the sailors with a very long-lasting supply of fresh meat aboard the ship. Metabolism alone, however, does not explain the great age to which the tortoise can live. Critical to the tortoise's longevity is their hard shell, which protects them from predators. Every long-lived creature in nature has a mechanism for protection. Some animals have speed to effect a quick escape from predation. Some use intelligence to outwit predators. Some use poison against predators. And some have physical protection, like the tortoise. In addition to its hard outer shell, the tortoise is also a large animal, and in general, larger animals tend to live longer than smaller animals. A final cause of tortoises' longevity is their island habitat. Animals which live on islands tend to live longer because they are kept separate from many of the most dangerous predators. Instead of developing energy-inefficient methods of keeping safe from predators, and thus requiring an increased metabolism, tortoises are free to allocate their energy to extending their lifespan and maintaining a very low metabolism. Though tortoises have developed an extraordinary ability to live a long life, today this ability is threatened by a number of factors. First, and perhaps most significant, is predation by humans. In the past, tortoises and humans did not commonly coexist, but today tortoises are killed by poachers who value the tortoise's shell. Second, the contamination of tortoise habitats has put tortoise young at risk. For the first 5 years of a tortoise's life, they are prone to predators such as rats. Originally, such predators did not share the tortoise's island habitat, but through the introduction of rats and other species to the habitat, it has put the tortoise at risk. Finally, the tortoise's slow metabolism means that they are very slow and virtually incapable of adapting to these new pressures. If tortoise populations are not looked after, they will almost certainly become extinct.
All right, so that is the reading from our website. So again, if you join the premium package at aehelp.com or glshelp.com, you have these kinds of read-alongs, and I highly recommend using these to help your reading fluency and accuracy. In fact, let's hop over to the website now, students. So I'm going to ask some of our members to volunteer and read this passage paragraph by paragraph. So my goal here is to have one volunteer per paragraph and then just do some reading. I know it's a little bit of a break. It kind of probably reminds you of like your high school days or your junior high school days where your teacher was like, okay, somebody's read a paragraph in the class and then you have to read. But that's what we're going to do, and I'm hoping you're going to join in on this fun with me. So read a paragraph, and then we'll talk a little bit about your reading and about the paragraph, and then we'll have another student read. Carolina says, I want to read. Okay, all right. So the way to do this, everyone, is go to the website. It's the same as how we do the speaking. Go to Student Partner Speaking. Click on that Student Partner Speaking, okay? And then once you're in here, I can see that we have Maria and James Bond and lots of others in here. So we even have a James Bond in here, and we have Carolina in here. And then once you're in here, then all you need to do is volunteer. And I can call you. I'm just checking to see. Let's see. Okay. Why I'm not seeing this come up. Okay, so let's see if Carolina will start then. So hi, Carolina. Would you like to start? Okay, and then let's see if we can get Carolina to start. Okay, Carolina, that's awesome. All right, so I will call you. Hi, Carolina.
Hi, Adrian.
How are you?
I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm doing okay. As I was mentioning to you the other day, I was a little bit under the weather, so I'm just trying to get over that before it gets the better of me, but I'm doing all right. Thank you, Carolina, for volunteering to be the first one to read from this passage. All right.
I'll do my best.
That's all IELTS wants you to do. That's all I ask. Absolutely. Okay. So let me jump back to the passage here, and then we'll go from the top. Okay. So please just read the title and then paragraph 1, and I'll scroll down to paragraph 1 as soon as you read the title. So whenever you're ready.
Okay. Why do tortoises live so long? Tortoises are slow-moving. That was the also sorry.
Yeah. So just start from
Paragraph
A.
A.
Yeah. Just
Yes.
start from paragraph A. Perfect.
Tortoises are some of the longest-lived creatures in nature. They can live so long that scientists have yet to fully document the lifespan of these hard-shelled reptiles. Reports, however, indicate that certain species of tortoise can live up to 200 years, far longer than the average human lifespan. The reasons tortoises live so long are evolutionary and biological, though the population of these ancient creatures is declining due to low reproduction rates and increased predation.
Nice. Okay, well done. Okay, so I have a quick question for you, Carolina. What is this paragraph about?
This paragraph is about how long the tortoise have been living in Earth, and how their they are surviving to the predators and the climate.
Okay. All right. Yes. In so many words, you are correct. So I've made that a bit more concise by writing the reasons for the long life of tortoises and the dangers for their survival. Okay. So that's how you would be concise. Okay. Just a quick bit of feedback on your reading, Carolina. So your reading it's fast enough to get over a band 7, I think, for sure. What I recommend doing to improve your reading fluency when you're practicing reading at home is for words that slow you down, that slow your fluency, stop and say them twice out loud with the correct pronunciation and then reread the paragraph. So I noticed that while you were reading this paragraph, there were some words that really kind of got you stuck in your reading, and then you had to kind of think about, okay, how is this word? What is this word? And then you were able to move past it. So ideally, you train yourself to read through those words faster. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so what I would do, for example, is do a little bit of training, like look at the words that caused you difficulty. I think longest lived was one of them. Reptiles, I felt, was one of those words. I think even the word tortoise, just the pronunciation of that word is a bit funny. So when you're reading a paragraph and you find these words that get you stuck, then underline them or highlight them like what I just did. And then after you finish the paragraph, read these words individually, like longest lived, twice nice and loud for each one, reptiles, and then read the whole paragraph again. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so do you want to just repeat me just for fun, just for these words? Longest lived.
Longest lived.
Longest lived.
Longest lived.
Reptiles.
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 Tortoise.
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 Okay, good. Yeah, and don't be shy to do it. The trick is don't be shy to do it. Just be robotic. So repeat. And then as soon as you feel like, okay, I've realized the pronunciation for each of these words now, then you go back and you reread the paragraph. You pick up that vocabulary, you pick up the pronunciation, plus you improve your fluency. So that will really help, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Okay. And again, Carolina, thank you so much for being the first volunteer. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully we have some more. All right.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. Okay. So let's see if we have some more volunteers now. Let me just jump back here and let's see if some other members have joined in on the chat. Bye, Carolina.
Bye.
Okay. So maybe give Carolina like a thumbs up. All right. It looks like we've got some other people in the chat. I'm not sure who are members here and who are not, but I'll definitely take a volunteer if no members are volunteering. So I have Divya here. Let's see if Divya would like to read a paragraph. Okay, so would you like to read a paragraph? Okay, we'll take a couple more. I don't know if we'll get through the whole passage again, but we'll take a couple more just to kind of hear some different styles of reading and then give some feedback, and then we'll look at the answers. So let's see if Divya is here. Okay, cool. All right. I like interacting with our students. It's great. Hello, Divya.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for volunteering, Divya. So Divya, you're aware of what we're doing? We're doing reading, and we're just doing paragraph by paragraph reading.
Sure.
Yeah? Okay. All right. Let's go to the exam book, and then I'll ask you to read paragraph 2, please. So here we go. Whenever you're ready, start paragraph B.
Okay. Can you scroll down a bit? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Nature is incredibly diverse, but the common factor among creatures is the need to reproduce. Some creatures, such as humans, have small number of young which are cared for diligently. Others, such as salmon, have no interaction with their offspring whatsoever. Instead, salmon uh, rely on the sheer number of eggs they lay. They lay so many eggs that some are bound to survive to adulthood, while some animals rely on care or vast number of eggs. The tortoise relies on the longevity of their life. Female tortoise can produce offspring for well over a century. This is one reason tortoise live so long. So they can reproduce. I can't see.
It's coming.
Can yeah. So they can reproduce many times and thus continue the species.
Okay, that's good. That's some nice fluent reading. So your allowed reading is good. You're pronouncing the words well, and you've got good intonation. You've got good rhythm and flow. So all seems good there. Let me ask you a question. When you read this paragraph, what did you see? So in your head, what did you see?
Yeah. So there is a comparison between species, that is tortoise and salmon, and how do they reproduce, and salmon can reproduce many. They can lay eggs. However, tortoise, they can reproduce because of their longevity, and that is one of the reason why. Uh, uh, as in, that is one of the reason for their such a big longevity age.
Okay, all right. So yeah, here I think you're interpreting the information more than seeing the information. That's good. That's also good. A very useful skill when you're practicing at home, and especially with such a physical kind of passage or information, is to really see it. When I think about what I saw when I'm reading this, right here at the very beginning, you actually have humans as well. So some creatures, such as humans, have small numbers of young which are cared for diligently, right? So here, if I'm thinking about what I see a mother hugging her baby. Okay. And then when I read a little bit more here, and it says that, okay, salmon rely on the sheer number of eggs. They lay so many eggs that some are bound to survive. So salmon, as we know, is a big fish, right? So I see salmon laying millions of little red eggs in the river. Did you see that when you were reading this?
No, I missed it.
Okay, so this is what you want to practice as well, and I'm just telling you this because, of course, I'm telling all of our other viewers that these are kind of the strategies that you want to visualize and you want to use during your IELTS exam. And then it talks about tortoises, and the tortoise, it says that the tortoise, the strategy is to lay eggs for many, many years. So I see a 150-year-old tortoise mother laying her 50th batch of eggs. Okay, so something like that. So I see those elements in my head when I'm reading them, and that's what you want to do with this kind of a passage. Okay, is just really visualize the information that you read in the passage, and that will help you to quickly and accurately answer the questions that come after the passage. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, that was really good reading. Thank you, and keep practicing that. So keep practicing your aloud reading, and I think you're doing really, really well. That was very good. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being our second volunteer, and I hope you have a lovely day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so that was Divya. Give Divya maybe a thumbs up in the chat. I think she was doing a fantastic job with this. All right, let's see. We'll take one more volunteer and then we'll look at the questions for the third paragraph, okay? All right. I know it's kind of scary, but you know, it's okay. It's all constructive criticism. All right, and so we've got Stella in here, I think, volunteering as well. So let's, aloud reading. Students, reading aloud regularly. It's a brilliant way to improve your reading skills and your IELTS score. So let's see if we can find Stella here. Okay, Stella, are you ready to read a paragraph? All right. So hopefully Stella will read paragraph C for us, if Stella is still with us. If not, we'll go to some questions. And again, as long as you're thinking about what each paragraph is about and visualizing each paragraph, you will do really well when it comes to answering the questions. Okay, here we go. Let's call Stella.
Hello.
Hi, Stella. How are you? How are you doing, Stella?
Fine, thank you.
Awesome. And where are you, Stella, may I ask? What part of the world?
I'm currently in UAE, Dubai.
In Dubai. Awesome. Okay. Beautiful place. I was watching a movie last night that was taking place in Dubai, actually. It was an action film. All right. So let's do some reading here with paragraph C. And whenever you are ready, go ahead and begin reading.
Oops.
From here.
Hello.
Yeah.
I cannot.
Yeah, from here, Stella. So from paragraph C, whenever you're ready.
Hello, I have some issue with my tablet.
Okay, I'll give you
Disconnect and connect again. Maybe I'll check you later.
Okay, all right, no pressure, Stella. Then I will talk to you later. Thank you for giving it an attempt anyway. Okay, so that was Stella. Let's see if we can find one more person. Okay, bye, Stella. All right, so Stella was having some connectivity issue. Let's see if there's anybody else. There's Khadija. All right, let's reach out to Khadija here. Can I try? Sure. Are you ready? I'm glad we're getting more and more volunteers for reading. Again, reading, it's like speaking. You have to be really brave with it. And reading aloud, reading aloud a lot is a really great way to improve. Hi, Khadija. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Khadija, I can hear you, but barely. You sound very distant.
I know. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better for sure. All right. Thanks for volunteering, Khadija. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and read paragraph C.
Okay. Can I start now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Reproduction, however, is not a cause of tortoises longevity. The most fundamental cause of their longevity is their incredibly slow metabolism. A creature's metabolism is the rate at which they process food and energy. Some animals, such as hummingbird, have very fast metabolism in order to power their high energy existences. Controversially, tortoises have very slow metabolisms because they have very few energy expenditures. In general, creatures with slow metabolisms live longer than those with faster metabolisms. Due to its low metabolisms, the tortoise can live for up to a year without food or water. When explorers were traveling to the Galapagos, I'm so sorry, islands in the 18th and 19th centuries, it was common for sailors to take tortoises on board the ship as they left the islands. Since tortoises survived so long without food or water, they were able to provide the sailors with a very long lasting supply of fresh meat aboard the ship.
Awesome. Okay, that was good, Khadija. No need to apologize for not reading difficult or tricky words. Sometimes that happens to me as well. I don't know how to pronounce the name of all these different unique places. It's the Galapagos Islands. Yeah, it is kind of an interesting pronunciation on that one. What was this paragraph about, Khadija? So what did you just read about?
I just joined, so I'm not sure.
Okay, but just this paragraph. So just this paragraph that you were reading. What is the main focus of this paragraph?
I think it's matching the headings or something.
Don't think about the questions. So here,
Okay.
I'm just simply asking you what this paragraph is about. And if you look for body paragraphs, often the topic sentence has the answer. So if we look at the topic sentence here, which is this very first sentence, okay, then we see it's reproduction, however, is not a cause of tortoises' longevity. And then it says the most fundamental cause of their longevity. So we realize that this paragraph is really about the cause of the tortoise's longevity, which is their metabolism. And then it gives the example of people eating tortoises a long time ago on boats because the animals would survive a long time. So they would have fresh meat for a long time. So, so it was good reading. When you're doing this
Got it.
exercise at home, yeah, perfect. So when you're doing this exercise at home and you finish a paragraph, stop and ask yourself, what is this paragraph about? And then give a
Like,
nice...
what is the topic for this? Like, why is this important? Like,
Don't mix those, so keep them separate. When you answer the what, answer the what. When you answer the why, answer the why. When you answer the how, answer the how. So I'll show you what I mean. So you could go what, and then the cause of tortoises' longevity. And then when you answer the why, because they have really slow metabolisms.
okay.
Metabolisms. And then the how is they do not need food and water often. And you can even say, so they make for good food on long trips, right? So that's how you can kind of separate the what, why, and the how. And get further clarity. So when you practice that, you're basically thinking about the answers to the questions that are in the passage. So when you look at those true, false, not given, list of headings, then these become the answers to those questions.
Okay, so I have a question. So basically, like, in the headings, they ask for true or false, and then the sentence, and then the questions. So should we read them first and then read the
Passage?
the passage?
The answer to that question, Khadija, is read questions that are contained in the passage. So, for example, in this passage, if I go to these questions at the end here, right? So the first set of questions, numbers 1 to 5, it's which paragraph contains this information. So I know that all of these questions are somewhere in the passage. It's all in the passage. It's all true to the passage. So these ones I will read before I read the passage, because these will help me to understand the passage. Right? Okay, but true, false, not given, for example, I don't read these before the passage because I don't know which ones are true. I don't know which ones are given. So if I read like this first one, most islands do not have predators, by the time I finish the passage, I'm going to be confused if I read that in the question or if I read that in the passage. So I don't want to read any information that's not in the passage before the passage. Does that make sense?
Okay, so when it comes to true or false, we're supposed to read the passage first and
then answer the questions. Absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Okay. Same with like when you're looking at multiple choice questions, don't read the choices because you're reading a lot of extra and false information if you're reading all of those choices, right? So just read the passage first, then read the question and then answer, and you have a much higher chance of success. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for volunteering and for reading. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Adrian. I'm so happy to like find you on YouTube. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Okay. Have a great day. Bye. All right. So that was Khadija, and I was a bit quick, Khadija, hanging up. Sorry about that. I'm just going to try to get to some of these questions and answers as well. So let's see who has been paying attention. Okay. So let's go back to these questions now, members. Yabeth, Ara, welcome to our group of members. Okay. Chandra is asking, let's jump to the true, false, not given questions because they are most challenging. Chandra, we can do that. Yeah, we can start with the true, false, not given today. That works for me. I actually think that they're not that bad, Chandra, as long as you know what's going on. Okay. Here we have the true, false, not given. Okay, and true, false, not given questions we do by a process of logic. Okay, so first figure out if the information is given or not by understanding if it is important. Okay, so number 10 here, most islands do not have predators. Is this important to know? Or is it off topic or too much detail? What do you think? After having read this, for this passage, why tortoises live so long, is this important to know, or is it off topic or too much detail? So most islands do not have predators. Okay, and I'll help you with this. So now's your chance. Okay, Bakrat says, I don't think that's important to know. And Bakrat's quite confident in that. Chandra says, not given. Before we decide on that, let's ask and answer this question. Chandra says, I think it's off topic. Carolina says, it's kind of a strange affirmation. I agree with you, Carolina. This, in my opinion, is too much detail and difficult to prove. Okay, so if it's too much detail and difficult to prove, I would say, therefore, it's not given. Okay, so I would mark not given and then move on. But if I'm not sure, like if my answer is maybe, right? Then this is where having answered these questions here would actually help me, because this is where I know what information is in what paragraph, okay? So I do remember that as I was reading, the passage was clearly telling me the different reasons tortoises live so long, including their long lifespan, their slow metabolism, and then later on their isolation, okay? And that came near the end, and we can see that here. A final cause of tortoises' longevity is their island habitat. Animals which live on islands tend to live longer because they are kept separate from many of the most dangerous predators. Instead of developing energy inefficient methods of keeping safe and thus requiring an increased metabolisms, tortoises are free to allocate their energy to extending their lifespan and maintaining a very low metabolism. So we do have a little bit here about the island and islands helping them to live longer, but we don't have the author actually saying islands don't have predators. Okay? It just says they're kept separate from predators, but it doesn't say that there are no predators on islands. So not given is a good choice, and we move on. Okay. All right. Number 11. So we read this one. The most significant problems facing tortoises are caused by humans. Is it important? So understanding the long life of the long life of tortoises. Is it important to know the dangers that are facing them for their long life? So again, I asked this question. Is it important to know the dangers for tortoises for this passage, okay, for the context of this passage? All right. So is it important? Like, should I, as an author, would you include information saying, hey, tortoises live really long, but they have this danger or these dangers, A, B, C, in the world today? Okay. Mal says yes it is, and Carolina says yes it is. So I would say yes it is. Therefore, it must be given, right? Okay, now, if it must be given, then we have to ask, is it true? So is it true that humans are the biggest danger for tortoises? Okay, and this should be, sadly, but truthfully, this should be a pretty simple answer. So is it true that humans are the biggest danger for tortoises? And think simple. IELTS isn't there to overcomplicate your life or make your life too difficult. Just think logically and realistically. Is it true that humans are the biggest danger for the tortoise? Chandra says false. Mal says it's true. So there's obviously some disagreement there. Chandra, keep it simple, right? It's got to be true. Let's not kid ourselves. Humans are basically the biggest danger for, I would arguably say, any species on our planet. So our pollution, our aggressive nature, our sheer numbers, 8 billion of us eating whatever we get our hands on, we are basically the biggest danger to all living creatures on this planet, including ourselves. So yes, it is. Okay, so this must be true. Okay, and I mean, you can go back and you'll find in the passage about poaching for the shells and introducing predators to their islands, like bringing rats to the islands, but it does not contradict the passage, right? So it's near the end, I believe, if I remember correctly. Okay. So though tortoises have developed an extraordinary ability to live a long life, today this ability is threatened by a number of factors. First, and perhaps the most significant, is predation by humans. There you go. So it's predation by humans. Don't overthink it. I mean, it just makes sense, sadly, but truthfully, okay? All right. Number 12. The introduction of rats to tortoise habitats has affected the tortoise lifespan. And this kind of comes from the previous question, right? So is this important? Again, you should be thinking yes. So therefore, it is given, right? We read about the rats. We read about the predators. So we know that the passage probably talks about rats and how rats affect the lifespan of tortoises, right? So it's important it's given. Is it true? And this kind of connects with the previous, right? Because it's humans that brought the rats to these islands where tortoises live. So it's given. Is it true? Yes, it is. Yes, so the answer is true. Okay. Now, when you get the flow of these true, false, not given questions, you do become pretty quick at figuring these out. Okay, and I can see that some of our members are definitely figuring this out now. Yeah. Okay. All right. Last but not least, tortoises must be returned to their original habitats to survive. Is it important to know? This last one. So do we need to know that a tortoise has to be, brought back to their living space to survive? Has anybody seen a tortoise in a zoo? Probably. I have. I'm sure you have. Does it survive? Yeah. So it's definitely not true. Okay. Do you think the author is going to mention this kind of detail that, hey, let's take the tortoise back to the Galapagos for survival? It's strange. It's off topic. It's not important. Okay. It's strange and false. So the author won't write about this. Okay. So again, it's not given. All right. That should make sense. Okay. Again, here, you can also ask yourself, did you visualize a turtle or a tortoise? Sorry, I keep saying turtle, but it's a tortoise. Turtles live in the ocean, okay? A tortoise going back home. If you didn't see any kind of picture or image like that, then you shouldn't be thinking, well, yeah, it has to be, you have to return it. There was no picture like that in our mind reading this passage. Okay, students, so we did the yes, no, not given. Hopefully that helped you. So first you identify whether or not it's important, or if it's too much detail or strange or off topic, then it's not given. If it's given, figure out if it's true, or if it's false, then you'll know the right answer. Okay. All right, Sanjay, 3 out of 4 on true, false, not given is not terrible. Okay, it's okay. All right, I will leave questions 1 to 9 for you to do at home, okay? Again, students, you can find this passage on our website here, okay? So this is aehelp.com here. And you can find the reading passages by clicking our premium, or by clicking join now and joining our premium IELTS package. So it's a one-time payment, and you get 6 practice exams, over 100 hours of video lessons. And then you can get all these reading passages with all of their audio, and it's great for your learning. General IELTS, it's this green background, same idea. Click that big red button there. Members, thank you so much for your participation today. I encourage you for the next reading class to volunteer to do some reading of these passages, okay? And keep reading aloud at home. I think that was one of the very important points of today's lesson, is to do lots of aloud reading at home, okay? Again, aehelp.com for academic IELTS, gieltshelp.com, wherever that went to, for general IELTS. And if you have questions, contact me, Adrian, at aehelp.com. That's it for today's class before my screen completely disappears. I hope to see you in the next class coming up in 30 minutes, which will be speaking part 2. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria for now. Bye, everyone.